So you want to know how to grow cilantro microgreens and have them come out really nice. They're a really challenging crop to grow. I know I've had many successes, but even more failures growing cilantro. But I figured I would take the time to show you something that's been working really well for me. I will go in detail. I hope you enjoy it. Stick around, and I'll show you every single step that I do. The first thing you're going to need is a tray. These are actually trays I get from one of my restaurants. This is what their fish products show up in. It's been bleached and cleaned. There's no fishy smell, nothing like that. But they give them to me for free. It's not as easy to deal with as a 10-20 because you want to typically bottom water cilantro. But I'll show you what I do. I actually water it in the corner. Let the water go underneath the soil, and I kind of move it around. It's not the most, efficient method of doing it, but it works for me. I'm going to show you with one of these trays just because that's what I want to do today. So you can use a 10-20. You can use two trays, one with holes, one without, stacked up. Do exactly what I'm doing here today. Soil is a very critical part to growing cilantro, more so than something like radish. I really like this Pro Mix BX, and I recommend this. It's really light and fluffy, and I'll explain a little bit more in a minute why the light and fluffy really helps. But this is the soil I'm using. You guys ask a lot what soil I recommend, and this is definitely one of them. I've used a lot of soils that I really like. I've used Sunshine Mix, which is really nice. I can't remember what the number of it was, but I showed that in videos a long time ago. It's kind of expensive for my taste, and I only used it that year because I got a wicked good deal on a whole bunch of it. Another soil I really like and do recommend is Black Gold. That's an all-organic soil, at least the version I was using. That works really well too, but I do like the Pro Mix just a little bit better. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with my really well-calibrated cereal bowl. I'm going to take 2 scoops, place that in the tray. So you got 2 nice scoops there. Now these trays, they're not 10 by 20, but they're a little bit wider than 10 and a little bit shorter than 20. I use the same ratios in these as I do as a 10-20, so they're pretty similar in area. Just going to spread this around nice and even. There we have it, 2 scoops all spread out. I'm going to go water this in really nice. You don't want it like soaked and puddled up, but you want it to be really pretty wet. All right, the soil is all nice and wet. I gave it about all the water that it could actually absorb without being puddled up. So it's good and wet. Now I have 60 grams of non-split seed, cilantro seed, from True Leaf Market. Link in the description if you want to check them out. The exact amount isn't critical. I don't typically measure cilantro, but I know a lot of you are really critical over want to know exactly how much seed I use. So I'm going to use 60 grams. I'm going to spread that out and see if that's what I think I like. I would say 60 grams is about exactly what I would normally use. Give or take 10, maybe add 10 grams, but that's a pretty good amount. Now I'm going to take my trusty cereal bowl and I'm going to get some more soil. Now this time I'm going to use just a little bit less than a full bowl, and I'm just going to sprinkle that on there. I got a lot of clumps. I probably should have screened the soil. You can see I'm using it right out of the bag. Just break those clumps up. Now you don't want the soil to be too thick. You just want it to be enough to kind of really give the seed a nice coating. Something the seed can kind of stick to helps the seed holes come off. So now you can see the seeds are mostly completely covered. There's not a whole lot on top of these seeds, maybe a 1/16 of an inch or so. Now I'm going to take some wind and water, and I'm just going to mist that down pretty good. It doesn't have to be absolutely soaked because I've got enough water in the soil below. I'm just making sure it's all nice and damp. Now before I cover this up, let me just explain to you why a light fluffy soil is so important. So when you cover up the seed like this, what's going to happen is the seed is going to grow and create almost a shelf. It's going to pick all that soil up with it. And I've talked about this many times in my previous videos, but you're going to want that soil to be able to break up really easy. Ideally, you want the sprouts to do that themselves, and you don't have to do anything. I did learn a really nice trick, though. This was actually told to me quite a while ago on YouTube, but I just never actually tried it, but it's an ingenious idea. It makes total sense. So what you'll do is you'll leave this covered up for 7-10 days, maybe even more. Cilantro takes a long time to germinate. And keep an eye on it. And when you see that most of the seeds have germinated, and you'll see all those little pockets of soil that got lifted, you'll take either your little sprayer or a bigger pump sprayer or whatever you have and set it to like stream, so that almost like a squirt gun, and you can just kind of go along and you can break up those clumps without damaging the sprouts below. It works awesome. It helped me out so much. It's such a simple thing, but it really makes a big difference. So I'm going to cover this up. I'm actually going to seal these right in there with a lid. Now if you're using a 1020, you're just going to take a lid with no holes and just cover it. I'm going to set this in the dark. It's going to stay in the dark for, like I said, 7-10 days, maybe more. I'll check on it every couple days until I think everything's germinated well enough where I'll take the squirt gun and start breaking up any soil that lifted. Then they'll go straight underneath the lights, and they'll stay under the lights until I'm happy with them. Here is a beautiful example of what you can expect. This is an absolute perfect tray of cilantro. It's pretty close to being ready to harvest. Along this edge, I see a lot of them have their first full true leaf, which is something I look for in cilantro. I want a nice full true leaf. You could harvest this now and it'd be fine. You can notice there's not a lot of seed holes. There are some, but there's not a lot. I'm going to give this another couple days before I harvest it. I would harvest it right now, but I don't need to because I'm not going to have a demand for this for another few days anyways. So because I'm not going to harvest it tonight, I can't tell you exactly what I have here. But what I can tell you, judging by looking at it, is this is a solid 6 ounces of cilantro. So 6 ounces of cilantro from 60 grams of seed, approximately, which gives this tray a value of about $30. Now that's $30 for about probably 3 weeks of growing. So it's not a hugely profitable crop, but it's a crop that people really want. So it's a crop I really like. So there you have it. That is how you grow cilantro and have really great results. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think. If you have tips of ways you do it differently, let me know. I'm always happy to try different things. Definitely check out the description if you would like to become a Patreon and get entered into my monthly giveaways. This month's giveaway is going to be a really awesome grow kit, complete with trays, some grow mats, seeds, and some really nice active grow LED lights. So definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in. Thanks for watching.